This is a Ferrari F40 and it's a little bit like a dream come true because I have never ever sat in one of these things, let alone driven one, and that's exactly what I'm going to do today. I'm Matt Watson and you're watching Car Wow! The F40 is such an iconic shape, just this rear end, I mean look at it, with those very simplistic round tail lamps, this huge spoiler. I absolutely love the way you can just like look into the engine bay and see the engine way back there and the gearbox there. And all these pipes for this exhaust here when you got like these 3 outlets. And of course, none of this is fake. And then you can actually look down here into the intercoolers there, see through this plexiglass screen down here. It's all very lightweight. I mean, this car is made out of mixture of carbon fibre, Kevlar, aluminium. It's based on a steel tubular frame chassis. Tips the scales at 1,100 kilograms dry, which is about 1,200 kilograms when you add all fluids and stuff like that. I mean, just look at this bodywork here. The vent in here, just like feeding air into the engine bay. Absolutely gorgeous. And it's so low. There is something I'm not so keen on, and that's because this car is American registered. These side repeaters here, and this black strip here at the front. Also the black strip at the back. I had to have that for some reason. In terms of pricing, these are so expensive. New back in the day, when they were first launched in 1987, they'd set you back about £160,000. One of these sold recently in the UK for 2 million. This is probably worth 2.5 million because it's only got about 8,000 miles on the clock. It is absolutely gorgeous. You know, there's some serious history with this car. The F40 was built to celebrate 40 years of Ferrari, and it was the last ever car signed off by Enzo Ferrari himself. Now, if you're thinking about getting yourself a new car, you can do the whole car changing process through CarWow. So you can research your next car and buy your new car through CarWow and check all the latest offers as well as all our reviews. Make sure you're paying a fair price for your next car, and you can even sell your current car through us as well. The whole process, it's simple. Now, if you want to find out more about that right now, just click on the pop-out banner up there or follow the link in the description below. Alternatively, you can do it at a later date by simply Googling "Help Me CarWow" and we will help you change your car.
Matt, you forgot the best bit about the car.
What's the best bit about the car?
It's got pop-ups.
Pop-up headlamps, which we can't show right now. Here's a cutaway of the headlamps popping up. Oh. Here on the inside, this car feels very old-fashioned, but in a good way. On the doors, you've got this exposed carbon fibre that isn't quite like the carbon fibre we're now used to. To open the door, you pull on this wire. That just feels so lightweight. Now this, being a later car, it's a 91, has the windy downy windows. Early models had slidey open racing style windows. Definitely prefer the windy downy ones. In terms of the seat belts, I don't really know what's going on here. I seem to have a lap belt and I can't see any other belts. And there's this weird thing here which seems to move up and down. More on that later. Really like these seats though, these red lined sport seats. Very nice. Really just fit your body perfectly. The steering wheel, there's no adjustment in this at all. It is where it is. And the position is slightly off centre. Look, that's me central and it's over to the right slightly. And the horn is a good old fashioned, yes, my car's worth 2 million. And on the dash, it's lined in felt. So too is the centre console. And this one is in very good condition because it's only done 8,000 miles. Buttons are pretty simple. Look, we've got heater there, fan there, engine start there. You got the lights on the stalks. Not like modern Ferraris when everything is on the steering wheel. It's much simpler. And the layout of the doors is just classic. Ooh, headlining. Reminds me of the headlining in my old Mini Metro. For those of you who do not know what one of those cars are, that's it. The car passed my testing. It looks like here there is a glove box, but no, there isn't. And the vents, these are just simple twisty vents. Originally, Ferrari only planned to build 400 of them, but then they sort of lied and built over 1,300. That said, they're still very rare and super desirable. One of the things about this car though was that it was the fastest car in its day. And that brings us on to the engine. Now, accessing the engine bay on an F40 is not easy, and seeing as this car is quite expensive, I'm going to get someone else to do it. So, Chris, can you help us here? And Yeah, normally it's a two-man job and I'll be the second man who does nothing. Can you do it on your own? So you're undoing some clips, you're applying some brute force, you're lifting it up, and obviously it's got gas struts, right?
No gas struts. They're too heavy.
They're too, right, yeah, because this is about lightness. So here it is. It's a 2.9 litre twin turbo V8 and it puts out 480 horsepower and 580 newton meters of torque, and it drives the rear wheels only for a 5-speed manual dog leg gearbox. So it might be quite hard for me to operate. We'll find out a bit later. So back in the day, this was the fastest road car you could buy. Top speed, 201 mile an hour. 0 to 60, 4.1 seconds. But just look at it. It's gorgeous. Now, Chris, can you put the engine cover back down again? Two-man job, look.
A few minutes later.
Now I want to show you something special about what's underneath the bonnet. So, Chris, can we have you back, please? I think Chris is starting to dislike me.
No, no.
Once again, 2 clasps, lift it up. So you look in here, you think, oh, look, perfect, spare wheel well. Why didn't they provide a spare wheel? That's actually for a bespoke luggage set. You have a round, like, suitcase which goes in there. So this car is reasonably practical. Now, you probably noticed these huge body panels, the front and the back clamshells. Its exterior is built out of just 11 individual body panels, all of them very expensive and hard to replace. So, Chris, can you do the honours again, please? Thank you. And now we can just admire its beauty.
However, this car isn't perfect. Here's 5 annoying things about it.
These air vents through here allow tiny rocks through this little grate, and then they just gather here on the side sill. And so you're forever just cleaning them out. Right. Hoping not to scratch the paint because it's very expensive. While you have an F40 here on the wing on the right hand side of the car, you don't have one here on the left hand side of the car. Why not? If you look here, you'll see that the car's body panels have been glued together and sealed with a sort of corking, you know, like you use to affix skirting boards to the walls in your house. So I've finally figured out how these seat belts work. Now, I don't know if you have them on the European F40, if this is just an American thing. Let me know in the comments below. But what happens is this actually stays locked in here like this, right? So you leave that in there when you get in and out. You then have the key in the ignition like that, right? Get the right way up, old-fashioned key. Shut the door and watch this. I didn't fix it correctly. See the problem? So let's try that again. Put that in there like that. Make sure it's fitted.
A few seconds later.
Chris! Can you help me please, Chris? Thanks, Chris. As I was saying, shut the door, get the ignition on, off we go. Locks into position, there we are, and then you pull the lap belt across like that, and that's not really very tight. What is that system all about? It's bound to go wrong. Oh, and it has gone wrong. The owners had to replace both of these motors for the cost of $1,800. The fuel cover isn't lockable, so someone could steal your fuel. Plus, look how flimsy it is. You can see the carbon Kevlar underneath because they couldn't be bothered to paint the inside. However, it's not all bad, and it brings on to 5 cool things about the Ferrari F40. The filler cap itself, once you unscrew it, oh, it's a lovely, weighty, solid piece of metal. Nice polished aluminium. That's gorgeous. Also, not only do you have a fuel filler cap here on the left side of the car, there is another one over here on the right side as well. So it doesn't matter which side you pull up at the fuel station. Believe it or not, this stripped out lightweight 1980s supercar comes with air conditioning as standard. So you can do quick wheel changes. The car comes with central locking wheel nuts, like on a racing car. Some owners complain that the car's 125mm ground clearance made it a little bit unpractical for road use. So a little later on in the F40's life, Ferrari fitted it with optional height adjustable suspension so you could raise it up to go over some bumps. Now you might be thinking that if you were smart enough to buy a Ferrari F40 back in 1988 and just held on to it, you're in for some profit because they're now worth 2 million. What a smart investment that would have been. However, actually it wouldn't have been. You'd have been better off putting that £163,000 into an S&P 500 index tracker. You see, that's averaged 10.7% annual return since then. And when you compound that interest up, that £163,000 would work out to £7.5 million today. So basically, cars aren't a good investment. Now, back in the day, Ferrari didn't really know how to apply paint to carbon fibre Kevlar body panels, and so the paint is a bit patchy. Also, to keep weight down, Ferrari only wanted to use 2 litres of paint for the whole car. As a result, when you look at the paint carefully, you can see the body panels underneath. In certain places, you can see like that carbon fibre-y weave. It's all very patchy. However, this is actually a very good thing if today you're thinking about buying a Ferrari F40, because by looking at the paintwork and whether you can see through it in places is a good indication that the car has its original paint.
So, now we've looked around the car, let's see what it's like to drive.
First time driving a Ferrari F40. Dog leg. 5-speed manual gearbox, open gate. Brutal, brutal clutch. Hopefully I'm not going to stall it while pulling away. Also, the pedals are so offset that way. I feel like my feet are in the passenger footwell. Actually, that was surprisingly easy. No boost yet. Wow, that feels so lovely. Brakes, no ABS. In fact, there's no driver assistance systems at all. No power steering, no nothing. This is just raw as. Feels so tight though. So, oh, I can't even imagine what this must have felt like back in the day. So much further ahead than the competition. What an amazing feeling car. And considering there's no power steering, that wasn't brutal turning it around there. Oh, this engine, when it comes on boost, oh, it's lovely. I don't want to actually thrash it too much, it's not my car. It's been sorted out by the Peterson Automotive Museum, huge thanks to them, and the Caretaker Collection, which actually owns this vehicle. What's impressive is how this car is riding over the bumps in this runway. It's so smooth. Let's have another little go. The turning circle isn't bad actually. I'm getting all like practicality tested in a Ferrari F40. I can't forget my roots, can I? As a normal consumer car reviewer. And then when I did that, I remember that I'm also a performance car fan. Oh, I love this engine. What a sensation. Beautiful, beautiful car. I'd love to rev it all the way to red line, but you know, old car, 1991, not mine, worth over 2 million. But let's give it one last little run up here. Just feels so good, so good. What an absolutely epic machine. Oh, final verdict? I think there's only one word. Wow. I hope you'll enjoy the video. If you did, give it a like. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. If you want to watch some more videos, just click on those windows. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. You can do that by just clicking on that carwow logo there. And don't forget to hit the bell icon as well. That way you'll be informed when we make a new upload.